Hey, welcome. Thanks for coming into my new channel here, checking it out. Little bit about what it is, what I'm going to do on this. Channel's called Hot Rod Road Trip, and what we're going to be doing is working on cars, getting them ready, taking them on trips, that kind of thing. It's kind of the off season right now, so there'll be a lot more builds than road trips, but I've got a little bit I can throw in here and there as far as road trip stuff is concerned. But what we're working on is all kinds of different things that a person needs to get their classic and collectible vehicle road trip ready. So hope you'll stick around, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff if you want. Edits, of course, this is early, so they'll be not the best. And will things get better? Maybe not, but maybe. I guess you'll have to stick around and find out. Thanks for coming, though, and let's get to today's live action. Okay, today what we're going to be working on is a 67 Firebird, putting a stereo install in it, which seems pretty straightforward. However, what we're working with here is this is the panel where it mounts, and you can see somebody has done a number on this thing. It is really hacked up, and the dash is just as bad. I don't know what they had in here, but it's got a giant hole, way bigger than regular stereo, not even a double din, like it's just an odd opening size. Anyways, that's what I'm working with here, and we're going to build a stereo plate to install stereo into this car. Let's get at it. Okay, so I've got the plate built here. That will be what houses the deck in. And the deck face on this one is bigger, but the chassis is still your standard single din size of 2x7. So now I need to mark out the 2x7 in this plate, as we want a nice tight fit. Okay, so it's all marked out now on the plate. 2x7. I try to keep all my cuts on the back side of the plate so that, you know, the grinder slips like here, like it does when you're doing this. It's on the back side, so the face side stays mark free for when you paint it up. Just easier, so you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So now to cut that out. After a little hand filing, got the metal plate to fit the deck. Absolutely perfect. Very, very nice fit. It's nice and tight, doesn't even move around on there. So it had a quick drop in on this plate too, on the factory trim panel there. It fits over it, nice, will look good. So next we're going to figure out how I'm going to build some little tabs off of the back of this metal plate into some of these bolt holes, so we have a way of mounting it to this front plate. As there is no ring on this deck, usually, you know, most decks have that faceplate ring. I don't know if it didn't come with it or you didn't have one, whichever. I'm going to mount this deck on a bit of an angle anyways, as I want it to sit more straight when it's in the car, and the dash has a slight upward angle. So, on to building some side plates. All right, took some measurements, made a couple of tabs here, and put a couple of mounting holes in it. Now we'll see if the measurements were right. All right, so the mounting brackets, as you can see, I bolted them on. Measurements were good. We've got it going up to the front there where it needs to be welded to the main plate, which I'll do next. I'll just throw a couple of tacks on. Don't want to melt the deck, and pull it apart to lay on the final bead. Okay, so here's how it's looking so far. Got those tabs fully welded on there. Now, the next part is to figure out what we're going to do to mount that plate to the trim panel here. I'm thinking we'll do some type of nuts welded onto the back, and then a plate that sandwiches when you put a bolt through. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, so as with many of these projects, I was overthinking it a little bit. And when I was trying to think of some way to hold it so it would wedge it in here, my concern with that would have been when the vehicle's hitting bumps, and even if it was really tight, I would worry that it would, you know, kind of slide down. So, as I say, I was overthinking it a bit in the fact that this whole thing is metal. Granted, it's thin tin, but it's metal. So, why not just shoot some tack welds on there? Granted, not the nicest ones, but hey, it just has to hold it in there nice and firm and be one with this piece, which it is now. It is absolutely nice and tight in there, and it will do the job. Moving on to the next step. Okay, so this thing here, this factory trim panel, as you can see, is just glued, and it's been loose ever since I got it, just at the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some glue on the back side of this, just like factory, and then some clamps. Get that all nice and back to original looking. All right, glue's in, clamped up. Let that sit for a few, and then we can carry on. All right, we're back. It's been about a half hour. I'm going to remove the clamps, and I gave it a quick just grind down. Just try to put a little bit of, you know, lines in it, just a little bit here and there. As you can see, the factory panel's a little bit grained. I'm assuming it was probably a wood grain at once, but someone's painted it black. So we're gonna mask it off next, and then we'll repaint the whole center section in black. All right, all masked off, ready to shoot. All right, paint's all on. Looks pretty dang good. Let that set up now for at least probably 24 or more hours and see how it looks. Okay, so slight revamp. As I was looking at it in the sun, I'm like, you know, it looked too smooth in the center to go with the rest of it. So I added green to it, as you can see in the reflection, to match the top that has green in it, and the bottom that does as well. So yeah, added that just because I thought it would make it more tie in with everything. And yeah, we'll see how it looks when it dries. And for those wondering how I did the grain, it's just some acetone on a rag and wiped over while the paint was still wet, and then let that dry for a few minutes, and then hit it with another few coats of paint, and it's grained. Okay, so it's been a day. The paint's hardened up and we were able to put the deck in it. I'll show you that in a sec here. Still has the protector on it just because we're going to wait until it's in the car. So pull that off. But it's in the panel and came out pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with the results. Masking is off. Should do the job. Now for the install part. I won't bore you with the details of doing the wiring portion, as it's just standard stereo stuff for the most part. Yeah, there will be a few other things that we need to do on the car to get it ready to throw that in there. So I'll load up the tools and we'll head out and get this thing in. Okay, we're here. We're in the Firebird. Got the deck all installed, hooked up. Sounds good, nice and clean. Install looks great. Got all your standard Bluetooth audio and microphone hookup, all that kind of stuff. So I'll show you here what it looks like, finished product. So there it is, all in, factory looking, and rear camera all set up, everything's working great. We got one small problem with the rear 6x9s, and I'll show you what the issue is there. So these are brand new 6x9s that he was drilling by, and they ground out. As soon as you hook them up, they pop, and no dice. It totally kills the audio to the whole system. And with this out, if you look down there, we tried to get a lot of it out, and you can get some of it out, but not all of it. But you can see right there where there's the metal causing that to ground out, and what kills the whole system. There's another piece on the far side. This was way worse. This is as good as we could get it, but still, you can hear that. There's all kinds of metal in there. So that's why you don't want to drill close to new speakers, as they have filled with metal. These are brand new, but they don't work. So we're going to throw a new set in and call it good. So that wraps up this one, and that's it for this first episode of Hot Rod Road Trip. A vital part of getting a car ready for a road trip, you got to have the tunes, got to have the audio. I'm a big fan of that. Always got to have a good system in the car. So that's it for this episode, and stick around. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.